Imagination is great. Adapted from Amari on Safari by Ferns. Amari had a huge imagination and loved it. It was wonderful to have the excitement of new worlds she could make up in her mind. She stood on her front balcony of her home and looked at the familiar real view across the road. An Australian gum tree forest with grassy areas and ponds. As usual, she was thinking of several things at the same time. She would be going to school next week. What would that be like? She would miss the walks with Mum and Dad. The world changed in her mind's view. She looked out at interesting places to walk. The wonderful thing about imagination was that you can safely go for a walk and never leave home. There seemed to be a lot of different water towers to explore. They all needed a visit. She moved on at a slow pace. She investigated ponds and looked at the frogs, fish and birds. She started thinking about walking in Africa. That was all it took to go on safari. Her mum and dad had been on walks in the Masai Mara and other national parks in Africa. She noticed that Mr. Baboon was running a school class and decided to find out what happened at school. On the way to the school, she heard Tank the baby elephant crying. Kentia, the giraffe, was standing by with a worried look on his face. "Can I help?" called out Amari. "That would be great," said Kentia. "He has a cut on his trunk and his mother is still feeding down by the school." "No problem," said Amari. She thought of a band-aid and an antiseptic swab, and of course she found them in her pocket. "Ouch," said Tank, "that cleaning stuff stings." Amari pretended not to hear and made sure the cut was clean before she covered it with the big band-aid. "Thanks," said Tank, "that feels so much better. I am heading to the school. I think we should go there and tell your mum what happened," said Amari. "I better come with you," said Kentia. "The pond has a rather angry crocodile in it. If he snaps on your nose, you will end up with a trunk like Tank." Sure enough, there he was, the cranky croc. Amari could also see elephants. "There's my mummy," said Tank. Mr. Baboon had moved the class into the classroom as it was getting rather hot in the open grassland. "Do you have a question?" he asked. "We need a new project for the students." "Well, I was wondering how tall Kentia is." "He is huge," said Amari. "Do you know how tall you are, Kentia?" "Never thought about it," said Kentia. "Perfect. Class, you need to find out how tall Kentia is." Chatter said it could not be done as they only had a 1-foot ruler. Cedric asked, "Do we have a ball of string?" Amari reached into her pocket and pulled out a large ball of string. Cedric asked Kentia to put the end of the string into his mouth and stand up straight. Where the ball rested on the ground was marked and cut. "He is that tall," said Chatter, pointing at the string. "Not very useful information," said Cedric. Bruce joined in with a suggestion. He got a stick and held it up against Amari. He broke it off at her height. He then measured the string in stick lengths. "There you are," he said. "Kentia is 3 Amaris tall." Even Chatter laughed. Cedric said that they were getting there. All they had to do was use the ruler to measure the stick and multiply that by 3 to get Kentia's height. The Amari stick was 1.5 meters long, so Kentia was 1.5 times 3 is equal to 4.5 meters tall. Amari told the class she would like to be a park ranger and check if the animals were all safe. She said goodbye to her new friends and set off on her inspection. Mr. Baboon said it was very hard, so Amari could drive his jeep to check if there was any problem in the park. Of course, Amari could drive a jeep in her imagination. On the road was Stevie the snake. "Oh, my goodness, you will get run over. I better help you get to safety off the road," said Amari. Under a nearby tree was Zilly the lion. "Fancy some lunch?" said Zilly. "I think I will get my own at home, but I will give you a lift," said Amari. Amari's tummy rumbled and she was tired after all the adventures and new friends she had made. She walked out to the backyard at her home. She patted her Labrador Zilly and looked at their new rainwater tank next to the Kentia palm tree. So that was where her stories had come from. Mum finished hanging up the washing and came and gave her a big hug. "You look tired and ready for lunch and a nap," said Mum. "I have been very busy and a nap after lunch would be nice." "I suppose I will not get walks and naps when I start school next week," said Amari.